Hi everyone and good evening and welcome to another edition of Not Another Rangers podcast with myself and also with the two people joining me this evening. First of all, Ricky, how you doing, Ricky?
I'm good, mate. I was at the beach today, so that's why my face is like a traffic light, a red traffic light. No, good, all good, my friend. The last couple of weeks of the school holidays, so enjoying that.
I'm talking about school holidays. I think most of the kids are back in the school in Scotland now, so how are you doing, Ross? And I take it your kids are way back today?
Mine went back on Friday, mate,
Friday.
for whatever reason. We took
And
them
you're
in on
Dumbartonshire,
Friday.
aren't you?
Yes.
Aye.
So they've primary 7 and third year, man. Old guy care. So
No, that old Ross, mine's are fucking, my daughter was 30 the other week, so there you go.
try get them back into a routine, and then I'm away for work tomorrow to Thursday, mate. So just busy.
Well, it's good to have you back on, Ross, you as well, Ricky. So we're going to the game for Saturday against Alloa. I mean, into Saturday's game, and it's probably one of the games where Rangers are expected to win by a lot of goals. And because of abuse you've been getting for fans and media about how we've been playing, Russell Martin was kind of on a no-win situation. If they win 4-0, 5-0, it's not enough goals. But if you let goals in, then it's criticism. So obviously we ended up winning 4-2, but the defending wasn't that great. What was your take on the game, Ricky? I only saw 60 minutes of it. I was down in England at the weekend, so I only seen 60 minutes of the game.
Yeah, I think we started quite bright, Kerr. We started quite. I mean, there was 10 changes to the lineup, so we're not going to be absolutely perfect with 10 changes. These cup games are always a bit stodgy in that, and we started quite bright. Moore looked quite good. He was quite effective. He was good on the ball, and then Bajrami smashes one in the top corner, and then unfortunately after that, after we scored, it went really, really flat again, and that was before we speak about the circus goal that Alloa got, but I don't know why we have these massive dips, and it's been going on for seasons with different players. That's 10 different players that are starting, and still the tempo's good at the start. We're creating chances. Moore had a few chances. We were creating good opportunities. And then after we score, the team just goes into that, okay, let's just get the deck chairs out in relax mode. It's completely bizarre. And the goal we lost, Kerr, Jesus Christ, man. Where do you start with that goal? What Jigger was doing, trying to actually, I think it's gone to his head that he thinks he is actually Magic Bagheera and that he can take on 12 players. And then he was lying on the ground after he got tackled. But we'll go over the goals and that later. But if you actually look at the full match, if you take away the two goals, it was a typical sort of stodgy cup. You win 4-0 if you take away the two comical goals we lost. But there's a lot of stuff that needs to be worked on for Russell Martin, especially defending at set pieces in that care. But we're in the next round of the cup, mate. We've got a draw at home against Hibs, which will be a tough match, so can't complain. But some things could have been better, but there was some decent football in amongst all the rubbish.
There was Ricky and Ross. I mean, I only seen the first hour because I had to go back out. But I didn't think we were as bad as social media are making out. Listen, the goals you conceded weren't great because I've watched it back, but some of these games, like I said earlier, Ross, it's one of the ones where you can't win either way, no matter how you play or how many changes you make.
It's one of the ones, isn't it? You want to get people game time. There was We've had square pegs and round holes, but we had star-shaped pegs and nail hole the other week with your left back situation, and hopefully that's been rectified now, and we've at least got somebody who can play there.
Yeah.
I don't know if I like the way Bailey Rice was hung out to dry a wee bit. But as Ricky says, you're playing a game against low league opposition. There's a lot of pressure, especially coming off the back of your last game against an opposition a similar level in Queen's Park who put you out at Ibrox. So there's that whole boiling pot now, isn't there? Obviously fan unrest with the manager and people no fancying some of the players. So I think it was only a hiding to nothing. If you'd have won 6-0, it would have been, oh, you're just playing against Alloa. You win 4-2 and shouldn't have conceded the goals. But you're playing with a completely new back four and players playing out of position. I think if you've got any competent left back, the first goal doesn't happen. And if Kieran Dowell's switched on in any way, he at least challenges for the header at the second. So again, are they going to be in the starting 11 come tomorrow night? No. So it's one of the games. As Ricky says, you just take the win, move on to the next round, but know that it's got to be better, and it naturally will be better once you've got your best 11 players on the park.
I'll just come back to when that Ross you mentioned Bailey Rice, and I've listened to people since yesterday and today talking about his attitude, his commitment, looking lazy in games. But I thought it was unfair putting the lad at left back. I mean, I can't remember a time he played left back. Listen, somebody who watches a lot of academy games might say to me he has played there before, but I think that was quite unfair. I know he wants to play, every player wants to play, but to say to him, you're playing left back, I thought it was quite hard on him. And I think it's quite a hard criticism. He deserves that, but
I get that you're not a left back, but I thought he was pretty pathetic at the goal, to be honest with you. You don't have to be a left back to just go and put a tackle in or jockey your guy down the line. I think he needs a loan move, Bailey Rice. I think he's got to go and play 40 games somewhere, preferably in our league. If he's as good as people think he is, that we shouldn't be sending him on loan, then send him to a Hearts or a Hibs or a team where he'll go and play games and directly affect results against other teams, whilst weakening those teams when we play against them. I don't understand why we don't use that method more. But it had all the hallmarks of me, the kind of Leon King type performance in the Champions League that finished his Rangers career, where he just didn't look competent. And I don't think that's fair for a young defensive midfielder to be judged on a performance at the weekend where he's playing so far out of position, Kieran, especially in a totally changed back five where there's no cohesion and there's no knowledge and understanding of each other's games. Don't get me wrong, they'll have shaped up in training and stuff, but I don't think it's fair to criticise a young boy for his performance at the weekend. And I hope folk don't judge him based on that.
No, I agree with you. I hope they don't. But Ricky, we've spoke a lot about Bailey Rice, haven't we, in the past season? How we thought he deserved the chance. And he's come on in some games, done really well. Everybody always points to the game at Old Trafford where he come on and done well. But do you think now's your time for Bailey to maybe go out on loan just to see? Because do you think he's at a place where he's at a crossroads? He's not moving forward. He's not moving forward, but he's kind of stagnating.
100%. I mean, and that was always going to be the case. I think Martin was going to have a look at these guys over the month of August leading up to September. And the way that I'm seeing things falling from a tree now is Rice has to go on loan, mate. He's got to go 2 seasons. I would put him on loan for 2 seasons. Just forget about him. Just keep an eye on him. Go at him. I don't know if he would get a game for Hibs or Hearts. I don't know if he has that quality. I think Motherwell would be perfect for him. Because and it's nothing to do with Len and Miller because they're playing different positions, but just to get him in that Motherwell team, they're trying to play a good type of football, exactly the way if this works with Martin that we're trying to play. So I think that would be a good loan move for him, and I think Curtis has probably proved that he's got to stay at Rangers to be part of the 4 wingers with Moore, Gassama and Ant-Man. So the way that it's looking getting towards the end of August for me is you keep Curtis for the season, because I think forget about Cortez, Danilo, all these donkeys, how many chances they get, and they just let us down time and time again. We've got to start forgetting about some of these players, Kerb. So Curtis deserves a chance, but with young Rice, I think, no, he's miles away. I think he's so far out of the picture. He's probably now like 4th or 5th choice to play in the number 6 position. So get him out on loan and see if we can rehabilitate him. I know he's still a young boy, but just get minutes. Like Ross says, he's got to play 40 games. He's got to be playing every week, playing against the guys in the SPL. But I mean, listen, we've been so mismanaged the last few years, mate. Rice should have been on loan when he was like years ago, he should have been out on loan. And I know we've got these agreements in place and stuff like that. And I think Ferguson said that last season as well. Like he thought that there was potential there, but he was very underdeveloped for his age. And this has to be sorted out for Rangers. And then we're trying to do that. And I hope it's part of Farewell and Purdy, because both of them have got a youth background. So hopefully they can sort of at least create, because for me right now, I don't even think there's a path for players to actually play for the first team. It's very difficult. Curtis might have a chance, but he's still going to be fourth choice. So we need to create that path in the next few years and put plans in place behind the scenes to get some of this talent into the first team.
No, I agree, and I've heard that obviously Malawi are interested in Saw Falkirk by all accounts, so hopefully he can get a loan somewhere and get him back playing some minutes and see how he goes from there. But we're just going to stick to, you mentioned Curtis, so I'm just going to say, Ross, about Finley Curtis. I'm a big fan of Finley. I think the boy's talented, yeah. He's still a lot of times, he's got a lot to learn. But one thing he's got for me, Ross, that I don't feel anybody in the team that I've seen so far has it. He can finish. He doesn't really need. He doesn't need 2 or 3 chances. He finishes, and he's done it all his career for a young boy up to this point. And I think that's a very hard thing to have as a footballer.
Is it 60 goals in 2 seasons for the B team or something? I think they kind of lines I read earlier. So that's impressive. He's looked good in the first team. He's another one who you look at the line of players who want to vie for that same position. When you've got Gassama, you've got Mikey Moore, you've got Ant-Man, you've got Bajrami, you've got Asgard, who are all looking to play either wide or in the 8. When you then look at your Diamandis, Raskins in the 8 as well, then I would worry that Finley Curtis is not going to get the game time that he probably deserves, just based on the fact that Mikey Moore's not been sent up here to sit on the bench and not gain any experience and stagnate for a year. Gassama looks like a really exciting young prospect. Ant-Man looks like a really exciting prospect. So where does he get his 40 games? And by the way, I don't know if tomorrow night I'd be tempted to stick him up top, mate, because it might be one of the games where you get 2 chances and you need somebody to score. And as you say, he looks like your best bet. He looks like our best finisher. He's got a bit of the kind of Cholax about him that just kind of sweeps the ball into the corner. Perfect. Doesn't he just try and put the laces through it? Because if Dessers is not fit, and he said at the weekend he's not going to play Igaman, then I don't see him offering less up there than Danilo. But I've never seen him playing in that position. I'm just going by, I don't think we're going to have a lot of chances, and I'd rather somebody was up there to put the ball in the net, but if the chance arises.
I totally agree with you, Ross. I think, listen, I've never seen him play through the centre. He might have done it with the academy as well. I've always seen him play kind of out wide, but he can finish, and that's one thing you have to try and use. I think if he played 20 games this season, we get double figures in goals easy. I think he's that good a finisher, that boy. And you think you've seen it, he's finishing yesterday, or Saturday, I should say. I mean, it was a through ball, but a lot of people snatch at that, but you knew as soon as he had it where it was going. He didn't even have to think. He didn't even have to think about it. I think he's that good a finisher, the lad, and I think he's one of these guys. I agree with you, Ricky. I wouldn't put him on. I think we need to use him. But I think, I don't know if the manager will, but I think you have to use him, because I think he offers us goals, and that's something at a moment in time we're not getting enough of. But back to the game on Saturday, I mean, I know you mentioned their goal, but their first goal was poor, wasn't it? I was just, Rice was involved, Duga was involved, Rothwell was involved, Kelly was involved. And then, I can't remember, was it Kelly? Was it one of the defenders that kicked it off Rothwell's? Went back into net. I mean,
it was like that Old Firm game we played a few years ago with Davies, your hero from Birmingham, when he was like, honestly, he had clown shoes on and he kept just kicking the ball in the air, and McGregor took 2 years to come off his line when the guy put the ball in. We were getting absolutely pumped, and Morelos was a one-man team scoring the other end. It was just a comedy. It was like Rangers finding a new way just to entertain you with how bad a goal you can lose. So to be honest with you, the first goal doesn't, and fans will say this is a bit daft, the first goal doesn't really concern me because it was just a freak goal that was really bad play from Jigger, really bad from Rice. Aarons, to be fair, tried to clear it off the line and smashed it off Rothwell's head into the net. It was like, at that point, it was just like try and clear the ball. The goal that concerns me, big style, is the second goal because it's like, what are you doing in training, for God's sake, man? You know, like, why are we leaving the small players at the back post when it's so obvious you're playing it? If Alloa, Dundee did it, Pilsen did it about 20 times. Now Alloa did it. I mean, why are we not? We've got massive centre halves. Fernandez is huge. Actually, I liked his goal. I liked Fernandez's performance. Put him at the back post and put Jigga in the middle. There's no need for the small guys to be at the back post because that's all the teams are doing. They're putting a whippy ball in. The guy's heading it back across goal, and we're all at sea. And we've got to get better at that, especially tomorrow because Bruise are a big team. They're a team in transition, but they're a big team. We saw that in the friendly, man. I mean, Barron was captain. He was standing. It was embarrassing. It was like something out of a cartoon. He was standing next to their captain, who was almost 7 feet tall, and Barron was standing there shaking his massive hand. And Barron had the wee Jeremy Beadle hand shaking before the match. So if we don't sort that out and sort the defence out and sort that out for tomorrow night with the balls into our box, then Bruise are going to create chances from it. So hopefully we'll be, because we keep hearing about this video analysis and I'm showing them this and I'm showing them that. Well, we need to start seeing it because that's why fans are getting super frustrated. You have a percentage of our fans that have had enough of Martin already, which I think is crazy myself. You've got to give the guy a chance. But everyone that's in the middle, we want to see improvements. And if we keep losing that same goal care, then it's not going to help Martin's cause with the fans. So we need to get better. We need to sort the defence out and stop giving away stupid goals and stupid chances. Because again, it was the same the end of last season and it's came into this season. 2 goals a game, 2 goals a game, 2 goals a game, 2 goals a game. It's got to change. And it's got to change fast.
It does, Ricky. For some reason, I don't see it changing very quickly or very soon, I should say. But on the game of Saturday, Ross, as well, I thought Barami actually looked decent. He took his goal really well, but I thought he was involved in a few things, and Mike Moore was trying to impress, and you can see the boy's talented, can't you?
I'm going to be contradictory here, mate, and say I thought Mikey Moore started really well and then fizzled out after 10 minutes, mate. It's hard. He's a young guy making his debut, and they could shift across onto him as well because they knew Cortez was about as much use as, well, no use, to be honest. So that Cortez had hundreds of space and just kept giving it back to Aarons, and they sussed that early and shuffled across. So Mikey Moore was getting doubled up on for about 10-12 minutes in. So I don't. Going to Ricky's point, because that's what was in my head, I don't see us going as Asgard and Cameron. Bajrami came in, done all right, but I just don't. I think that's going to be your 2 going forward, and I think Rothwell sits behind him. I worry for Raskin and Diamandi because I don't think they're going to be first choice players in this Russell Martin team. Bajrami's goal is cracking, but they're playing against me. As I say, there's a boy at my work there that's done a 5-day working week with 2 nights overtime, and he's turned up at Ibrox on Saturday. He's got subbed on 86 minutes, and the only reason he's got subbed is because Connor Barron left one on him, an absolute belter. Like, he's not even coming off blowing out his hole. See, for us, the game we were promised, we're going to come, we're going to win the ball back, we're going to be possessing, we're going to be fast. See, with no disrespect to anybody at Alloa or any part-time team, they should be blowing out their hole after 50 minutes chasing us, and that's not happening. And that's a big part of the issue for me, is that we should be tearing teams up for 60 minutes, and that's when you then take off your Moors and you take off your Asgard and you bring on your Diamandi, you bring on Gassama, which we should have all this wealth of upfront talent, but that's only good if A, you're tiring teams out so that you're the fitter team getting into the last 10 minutes, and B, you're not giving away slapstick comedy goals at the other end, because that just keeps teams in the tie. That gives teams energy. Alloa were dead on their feet at 3-1, and then they go up and get a corner and we just give them that lift again because for a set piece they score.
I mean, the Rangers man marking also the zonal marking, because sometimes watch them, it's like you don't know who's picking who up. It's like they seem to, like Ricky mentioned, the bigger guys in opposition teams seem to go into our smaller guys,
It
and it's
looks.
like we're not really watching that. It's like you seen it with Dundee. They didn't just win the first header; they won the second header.
I think it looks to me like maybe the centre halves have got a man. They've got their centre halves kind of man marking them, but then you look at areas and I get what Ricky's saying, but is Kieran Dowell not about 6'2" at the back post? He only looked about 4'6" because he never jumped. That's the issue.
I think he's about 6 foot, Kieran Dowell, yeah, but I don't think he's not physical enough to. That's not his
No,
game.
so that's what I'm saying. So I think we've got our centre halves man marking their centre halves, and then it's kind of height for maybe an R2. We mark kind of 4, and then the rest is kind of zonal. So if we've got 8 back, there's kind of 4 man marking and 3 marking spaces. But for me, it's just get a man, stick with him, and everything becomes a 50-50 then. Because see, in the zones, I don't like it. When I played, I didn't like it. I'd rather you were up against and you were physical and you were able to do a bit of blocking and tussling and it's up to you, and see if you don't beat your man and your man scores a header, or you come for a cross and somebody beats you to it, then by all means it's your fault. But when you're doing that kind of hybrid zonal, it becomes their centre halves can block our centre halves, and then you've got their players running towards goal, and ours have got a standing jump because it's an in-swinger. So you've got players that have got a 2-step run and jump, and you've got our players that are trying to get up for a standing start. I don't like it, Keir, but it seems to be the way Russell Martin wants to do it. And as you say, it's another hill that he'll end up dying on, because two games against what you would call, with no disrespect, lesser opposition in Dundee and Alloa, and the two of them have looked dangerous for set pieces. Dundee also hit the post for a header for a corner as well, so it's not as if it looks great, and that's to me is the basics. See your set pieces, you're drilling week in, week out. That should be the basics, and it doesn't seem to be.
Whereas Ricky, we scored for set piece, big Fernandez, and he got really well. He's a big towering lad, and you would think if he's at the back, that should help you clear set pieces defensively.
It's about desire as well, yeah, but it's about desire, Kerman, right? You can speak about, I agree with Dowell being 6 foot and everything like that, but if he's standing half asleep and then just lets the guy have a run on him, it doesn't matter if you've got Andre the Giant standing there or whoever you want. I mean, it's easy. It's about desire to win that ball. You've seen it yesterday in a few matches as well. It's like the Manchester United goalkeeper, man, coming out like he was a flapping seal to punch the ball, man. You've got to be. Keane was right. Roy Keane was spot on. You've got to show aggression. You show aggression, you get the foul, or you'll clear the ball. But if you're just standing there, I still see our team lacking so many leaders. I see people speaking about it in the comments, and I totally agree. I just think that there's no comments. There's still nobody in our team, and I think Raskin could have been that, but Martin's killed him, not making him the captain in the leadership group and all that. I still don't see. I don't think John Souttar's even that. I know John Souttar wasn't playing on Saturday, but we need someone that's vocal, that's telling everyone, right, you do this, you do that, and then if they don't go and win the header, when they get back in the dressing room, they're getting absolutely hammered. I don't see any of that of this team, Mike. You look at the teams of the past, like Davy Weir and even them, and you go back to Gough and stuff like that. If someone was just we were giving away the same goal 1 week, okay, you can sort of live with that. But if we give away your Dundee and Alloa when you're giving away the same goal the next weekend and the same goal the next weekend, punches would have been thrown in the dressing room, and so they should be, because it's no acceptable, Kerr, on any level. But you're right about Rothwell. I like Rothwell's. He's very good at set pieces, and he put a great ball in for Fernandez. So that's something. We are pretty good at set pieces going forward, and we need to be, because we didn't create any chances because we're playing it with our centre back. So at least when we go,
Ricky, Rothfield's another one who defensively but struggles.
Yes, that's what I mean. I was surprised. Like, I know what Ross is saying. I probably think that Martin has realised that I don't know if things are going to change towards the end of the window, but I definitely agree Diamande will drop out now. But I think tomorrow Raskin will be in the 6. I was surprised Asgard did the press conference today, so that hopefully that means he's fit enough to start, because I'd love to see him in the left side of that midfield, because that's what he was bought to play, and the team badly need him. But it's interesting because maybe he will put Rothwell on the bench, but it is going to. Well, he said for sure that Raskin was going to play in his press conference. So if Raskin's going to play, surely it's going to be the 6. He's not going to put Rothwell in the 6. And I think the problem for Cameron, he's been outstanding. The problem for Cameron is I think he's an easy player to drop for the manager. You know, it's easy for him to put Rothwell in there, what Asgard and Raskin behind. I think that's probably what I would expect to see. But we will see. We will see. I mean, it's going to change. We've got so many matches and stuff, so it will be interesting to see.
Yeah, we will be using the full squad, Ross, and obviously tomorrow night it's a big game. We need to kind of get something, so we go to Belgium next week with at least a 1 or 2 goal lead, and we can't. I know a draw is not out of the question going over there and getting something, but you want to go over there with a lead. So I think he will go back to. I think Raskin will start. I think Rothwell will start. I don't see why he doesn't play him as a 2. I think you could use him as a 2. I think Rothwell's technically can pass a ball. Like, you seen it, he can get the ball forward, but I think Raskin gives you a bit more bite winning the ball back. And he's also very good in there, Nico Raskin, for size him. He's very good in there. And you can maybe play Asgard or Cameron. I would probably go with Cameron at this moment in time if Asgard's 100%, but tell Asgard's a phenomenal player, and I think once he's fully fit, you'll see what he can do. But it will be difficult tomorrow night, Ross. I'm just going to touch on this briefly before we touch on the presser first, but he's got big changes tomorrow night, Drink, so he's going to have to start a team. I mean, he brought in a left back. I don't know a lot about him. I've spoke to a few folk at Preston, and they said he was okay, but he lacked defensively. He wasn't strong enough defensively, but he was good going forward. But defensively, he lacked physicality, and he's only 5'9" as well, so he's not going to be good in there. But I think tomorrow night he's got to pick a team who are got to be in their front foot and got to try and go for goals. I don't think we can. That team's no built, Ross, for sitting back and defending.
No, and I think that, to me, that's why Rothwell plays a 6, mate. I just don't think Raskin's disciplined enough. I think Raskin's got. You wouldn't want to coach it out of Raskin, but I don't think Raskin just sits there. I think he sees an opportunity to nick the ball 20 yards away. He dashes out of that position and leaves the whole midfield with a big gap in the middle. I just don't see him playing Raskin as a 6 in big games, mate. I think Rothwell's his trusty lieutenant. And without
I
that,
feel Rothwell's going to get a legs, but because when teams have attacked us when he's been there, they run by him. We've seen it in Pilsen.
he shouldn't have to have the legs, mate. Is what I would come back with. Rothwell's full job in that is to.
But he's never really been a 6 in his career. He's always been an 8. I just find that quite strange. He's came to Rangers as a 6, but I can see why, because he's passing ability. I just feel we need something better. But obviously, you say he's brought him in because he's the one who wants to play there.
I mean, I just think that if you're playing and you're trying to play the way we're going to play, the number 6 has got to be somebody that can bounce first time passes about, and Rothwell does it really well. Takes it on a half turn and goes out the other side, or makes an angle for Butland and then plays in Giga. I don't think Raskin, for all he's a great player, I don't think he's got that calmness and that composure. You hate comparing us to them, but you don't see Callum McGregor running about like a wee pit bull and snapping into tackles. He just takes the ball for the centre half, recycles it and starts their play.
He can defend McGregor, but Ross, he can defend as well when he has to.
I think Rothwell can too, but I think that the balance in front of him's wrong. I don't think Diamandi's kicked his own arse all season. No, I don't think any.
Totally agree.
If you're playing in a midfield 3 and you've got your wingers playing high and wide, you've got to have a 3 that's playing cohesively, and I don't think Diamandi's shown up. And I think that Raskin playing on the left hasn't helped him. I think potentially Raskin could play right on the 8 and Asgard left on the potentially, but I do. I'm the same as Ricky. I think you would be doing a disservice to young Lyle Cameron, who's come in and not really put a foot wrong and got his goal. But as you say, Lyle Cameron, a free transfer for Dundee, isn't a sexy name like Nico Raskin, Belgian midfielder, World Cup year, blah blah blah, and it might be a victim of that. But that to me is an issue that's right through the club, that we'd rather pick a sexy name over a young Scottish boy or a Scottish boy that could do the job equally as well, but doesn't have an Eno at the end of his name. So, see what I see.
And also, Ross, sorry, Kerr, just to jump in there a little bit. Our best performance against Pilsen as well. Cameron was the catalyst for that performance with his energy from the left side of by taking Raskin out and putting Cameron in, and the way he was creating the space and buzzing about. So, like Martin has got a huge week coming up. If he takes Cameron out of that team and puts a half-fit Asgard in there, and Rothwell, and it goes, and the team's all over the place again, then the knives will be out again, and it'll be very unfair on Cameron. So I would like to see Cameron in that midfield, but I agree he's an easy one to drop. But I mean, maybe put Rothwell, if he wants to play Asgard, then put Rothwell on the bench, and because it's got to be. He said he's definitely playing Raskin, but I mean that can change. But it will be interesting to see what the midfield lineup is tomorrow, mate.
I think the two will play myself, but just go back to his presser, Ricky. I mean, his presser he spoke about, obviously, the issue with Raskin transfer request was nonsense. And he spoke about Leo come in and asked for a man on loan. He spoke about the new boy coming for the left back coming in for Brentford. And then he spoke about his mum asked him how he's feeling, because obviously his mum and his family look at the pressure he's under at this moment in time, but he does say he's enjoying it. But obviously, Ricky, you can answer them all. You can answer them all, but I feel the media are going to pick up on the mum point and make it more dramatic than it actually should be.
Right, one thing you'll say about Russell Martin, love him or hate him, mate, is he's his own man. You've probably got friends that are the same as Russell Martin. They just dress different. They're very different. They wear whatever they want. They don't care. So they sort of people like Russell Martin, I don't think he gives a shit what anyone thinks about him, what anyone says about him. So going about the point you're on about with his mum and stuff like that, I don't think it's helpful, to be honest. I think some of I think there's a lot of people that are just like, we're just not willing to give him a chance from the start, and it's just went absolutely tits up. But for Russell Martin, I mean, the guy doesn't go on social media or anything like that. He goes from his house in the morning to the training ground. He's with the players. He's watching what's going on with the team. He's speaking to the analysts. He's speaking to the medical team. If you went home to Lucy Pinder, would you be on X when you go home? I don't think so. So the guy's got it. He doesn't need to worry about all of this. I mean, and it's got more toxic over the years, X. So I don't think he worries about any of that stuff, to be honest with you. I was surprised about the stuff with Igaman. I mean, I thought it was very cheeky that they came in and tried to get him on loan. Hopefully Rangers just told them straight away, and it's really annoying for me, because it's right before our biggest game in a few seasons against Bruise. It's a £40 million match, so I don't like that they've came in right before that game, because we need Igaman tomorrow. If he doesn't start, then we need him for that last 30 minutes, mate, because Danilo is going to start up front, and he's going to be an absolute, like a kite in the wind, just running about, offer absolutely nothing. So we need Igaman. If he's not starting, as the manager says, we need him for that 30 minutes, mate. So it'll be interesting to see what the front three is. It'll probably be Gassama, Danilo and Ant-Man, and then hopefully later on, if we need a goal, Curtis will come on with Igaman for the last 30 minutes. And I wouldn't be scared to make the changes. I think we need to get the ball a lot faster to the wide men tomorrow, Kerr. That's what I want to see. I don't want us to be fucking about too much at the back. Just get the ball to Gassama and Igaman. I think if we get Ibrox rocking, I honestly think we can beat Bruce tomorrow in any sort of win. They're in transition as well. They're no this amazing team. They are a good team. They're a Champions League team, but they've sold some amount of players, And I saw a guy doing a preview today, and I know for a fact in Belgium they're in transition as well. So if we get Ibrox going, hopefully we can have a great night, mate. But the stuff for Russell Martin won't bother him too much. He's thick-skinned. He'll die on his sword. They were speaking about him on Monday Night Football tonight. Still, that they were amazed at him at Southampton. They hated the football he played, and they said it's refreshing this weekend to see Sunderland and these guys having a go. So is football still hated in the Premier League? And that was Carragher and Neville speaking about him on Monday Night Football. So it's got to get better at Ibrox, mate.
Just answer this question, no, it's about hands across the water. Defence is a real problem. 3 loan signings at the back just means a rebuild job next season. Kicking the can down the road, and again we'll be developing other teams' players. Obviously, Ross, you know yourself, teams do, all clubs use the loan market, but for some reason this season we've used it quite a bit defensively. Does that concern you, or is that just maybe bringing in players now until we can assess others to maybe buy for next transfer window or the following one?
Mate, what really annoys me is you've got 2 good young Scottish players that could have played on either side and could have played 20, 30, 40 games for us this season in Mulligan and Penrice.
Totally
And
agree.
you could have got the 2 of them for probably what we'll pay for Aarons and this boy. We've signed the day's wages for this season. You could probably got the 2 of them on a 3-year deal. And that, to me, is annoying, because you just know Mulligan's going to be Hibs Player of the Year this season, and you look back and go, why did we know? You know, for
By all
a fact.
accounts, Ross, that was a done deal until Thelwell pulled the plug on it.
So that's what I'm saying, mate. And I think Coppin is the strangest appointment ever, because see, when he goes ruffling through the bins to come up with freebies and stuff, you look at Hefty, look at Igamani, look at what Mulligan could have been. He's went and he's done really well shopping in small markets, but then you look at taking the obligation to buy on Cortez, you look at Bajrami, you look at Ben Davies, you look at Proper, and you go, how could they have an eye for a player in the budget market, but when you gave him a bit of money to spend, he was so hopeless. On the back 3, you're looking at potential 3 of your back 4 being loan players. But does that mean is that a bad thing if you've added and bolstered in your attack? If it clicks going forward, you're looking at, if you get through this tie on Tuesday and then into next week, you're looking at 40 million that the loan players have got you that you can then go and buy. I just think you've only got a certain budget to spend. We've front loaded it. We've spent the guts of 20 million. And I think that what's holding us back now, and the reason why we're having to go for loans and stuff, is we can't get rid of that deadwood that we've already spoke about. You can't get rid of Ben Davies. We can't get rid of Matondo. We can't get rid of... So nobody's going to come and buy Danilo for whatever reason. We'd knock back 4 million for Dessers, which still to me is crazy. I get that you've got to have a valuation and you don't want to look weak in the transfer market, but Dessers, you would never go and buy Dessers for £5 million. So how can you expect to sell him for £5 million is what I would go at. So, mate, I said to you, I would have 11 loans. See if you got 11 loans and they all clicked and you won the league this season. I'll have 11 loans if that gets you success. The issue we've got is none of them have really clicked yet. And you're not going to tell me that boys like Mikey Moore coming in on loan is a bad thing for the club.
No, it's not. I think it's obviously helps us profile-wise, helps him, and we all know the boy's a good footballer. And Spurs wouldn't send him here if they didn't think he would get better. Do you know what I mean? He'll probably toughen him up as well, going back to the English Premiership. What's your views on the loan deals, Ricky? I know we spent a lot of money, and I still feel we're short up top and defensively. I think we kind of overstocked the middle of the park, but it's still not right. But I think there's guys in there that can maybe leave. I think Raskin's name's always mentioned. Deals at a bid. Connor Barron seems out of the picture for me. I think there's guys in there that can maybe go as well. But I think we've obviously bought wingers, which you've not had for a while. 2 decent wingers. But I still feel up top, if we've got three strikers, but there's not one of the strikers up top where you put your hat on and say, but he's the one to go forward with.
Yeah, the two, like, to start with the loan signings, I mean, the left back and the right back is two players that Martin knows. He worked with them. He worked with both of them in the past. So that's even the young guy, when he was doing his interview yesterday, says he understands the way that Martin wants to play. So that's probably the reason that they're trying to help him, thinking if he can bring in as many players as that knows the system already, it's going to be beneficial to the team. I do. I mean, I get big concerns when I hear you say he cannot defend. Surely we've no replaced Yefte with Yefte. I mean, come on to hell, man. What is it? Okay, we've got amazing money for Yefte, but that is the biggest
He played
Robert.
14 games for Preston by all accounts.
Oh, I know, and the reviews are no great.
He was good offensively, but he wasn't good defensively.
The reviews are no great, and two mistakes I see, big mistakes we've made. Three mistakes I see that we've made, for me personally, red flags with our business we did in the summer. Mulligan was a no-brainer. Even if you were bringing in Aarons, you could have brought Mulligan in, and you should be phasing the captain out anyway. So Mulligan was an absolute no-brainer. Purdy's supposed to be the super scout with Felwell. They should have known what this guy was all about, and it was a very easy deal to do. So for me, I was very, very a bit annoyed that we never got that one over the line, to be honest with you. And I mean, the loan signings is okay, mate. I don't mind about the loan signing, but up front, like Ross says, Turgeman is a way to go to America for the same money. We could have sold Dessers and brought in Turgeman. It's supposed to be the way, and I cannot handle another season of Dessers playing shite. Like Ross said, I thought he summed them up perfect with the sugar or shite. I cannot handle us having 10 new players and watching Dessers all season and speaking about him on a podcast every weekend when he's diving. I mean, that injury he got when he died, when he got hit in the face last week, just summed the guy up for me. And he can be amazing, mate. So that's number two. And number three, I've forgotten, so move on.
Was it Danilo, was it?
We'll start to think about anyway. Danilo, I mean, we're trying to get these guys out, but like Ross says, it's impossible to get them out. They're on mental money, man. Danilo should have had a good reputation when he came from Feyenoord and stuff like that, and he doesn't suit. I think we needed to bring in two strikers, to be honest with you, and we might do if Egerman moves on, but now I don't think we've got any. Egerman's the one that we want to see in the system, and it'd be great if we could keep him for another season, but is that going to happen?
Egerman's playing a game as and he wants to leave, or Jink Leo's trying to play a game, or Jink is
I think it's the same. It's modern football. That's why I was laughing at Raskin wants a transfer. There's not such a thing as going on the transfer market. Every single player is speaking to his agent every single day now, and you not think the agent's saying, like, okay, you could get AC Milan, or you could get this club, or you could move to. He's looking at the options and going, oh, maybe it's World Cup year, State Rangers. That's conversations happening with every single player, Kerr, So that I don't think that's something that we need to worry about that's going on in the background. And Rangers are doing it as well to players. So that's just the way football works. Everyone thinking that players are angels and they don't speak to their agents, and nobody's hooring these players around Europe or living in cuckoo land. It goes on all the time. You just don't like what's going on with players like Isaac and that. That's what you don't like to see. But all the other stuff is football's fair game nowadays, mate.
That is, I know. That is, and I mean, you have got a big squad, Ross. You mentioned some of the players that's not even probably at Ibrox at the moment. They're just been sitting in the house trying to get a transfer somewhere, and teams will wait to the very last day of the window, or second last day, and say, here's 100,000, 200,000 for somebody, or we'll just take him on loan just to get him away for you for a year. I mean, that's going to happen, but do you still think many more players do you think we'll bring in before the window closes? Or do you think it depends on who goes out? Or do you think it also, third point is, does it depend on the result against Bruges?
Well, certainly, if you can guarantee that Champions League money, then that's got to add a bit to the budget. That's got to. We were told about the 20 million front-loaded investment. It was on top of whatever we had already in the funds for this year. That was the Americans putting that in, but we were told that wasn't off our players. That was to do with a bit of money in the bank as well.
Yeah.
I think we
Obviously,
we
they brought money in for Yefty as well. We've got, was it €5-6 million or something? So that money's
Ye-
coming in as well.
Yep, I think Ricky's right. I think we certainly need a striker. We certainly need another left back, because we can't just bring this young boy in who's played 14 games for Preston last year and expect him to play a 60-game season for Rangers this year. So we need another left back. We need a left centre half.
Yeah.
So there's 3 key positions to the way Russell Martin wants to play. We need ball carriers as well. Diamandi's no carried the ball. You'd be lucky if he's carried the ball 100 yards all season. And that's what's going to... It's players driving in that's going to get defences panicking and open up spaces. We've not had any of that. The closest we've got to it is John Suter, and he's been turning like I've seen milk turn quicker. So, yeah, I think that he needs to get the players to suit the formation. And I seen a comment there, which I get, is why does Russell Martin no change his formation to suit the players he's got? Well, he's been brought in as a philosophy manager. He ain't going to change the way he plays to then. So you get 6 games the now, and you maybe keep some results playing 4-2-3-1 and hoofing it long. But then he gets his aim players in towards the end of the window, and he's got to then try and embed his system again. That was never going to happen. So we're in the very early stages of a full rebuild. And as I said last week, if your computer and work goes to Windows 11, it takes you a few weeks to get used to where the buttons are and what they look like now. And that's a Diddy program on a Diddy computer. It's not on a park where you've got 11 guys who are playing their cup final playing against you. So I just think everybody's got to chill a wee bit. I get it that there's no hope with some people. Some people, before Russell Martin was even announced, didn't want him, and they're not going to change. And I just hope that if he can put a run of games together, and I'm buoyed by these signings who've played with him before, who get it, who've been part of it, who want to come and join it again and think that they've got a chance of winning silverware the way he plays. That to me tells me that there's something there. The difference is he's never had to do it in a team like Rangers with expectations, whereby if we are 8 points behind at Christmas, our own fans have chucked it by, despite what happened in Clement's first season and whatever else, where we brought it back and then shat the bed at the last minute. But mate, the league up here is so strange that I just think that we've got to give it time to allow it to click, because as we spoke at length last week, we dropped to, was it 8 points behind with Van Bronckhorst binned. We let Beale get to kind of 10, binned. Clement got so far, binned. So at what point do we stop going, see if we fall 9 points behind Celtic, we're just binning, and then we'll rip it up and start again the next year? Because it's no worked for us for the last three managers, and the one before that who ended up bringing us the best success was the one that we gave 3 years to when he had a really sticky first. So see, for me, that the sorest part of it all for me is that taking down all the stuff in Ibrox, and I've said this on here before, the world's most successful football team, most league titles, this, that, all the accolades that we've built up over 150 years of history, that we've now felt the pain of that, and Celtic have moved ahead of us on trophy hall and stuff. I'm not that worried if they move another 2 ahead of us this season, but we can start to see it click round about Christmas and we maybe run them close and finish the league 5 points behind them. That to me shows progress, and then you're getting into next season. And Martin kind of spoke about that when he spoke on, was it the Masterclass episode? I can't remember, one of the podcasts I watched, where he said he got Southampton promoted and he went into the Premier League, and he knew there was a chance he was going to get scudded every week, but he was quite happy to go back down, and the players then, the young players he brought through, would have had another season together. They would go down, they would be favourites to come back up, and then you're in the Premier League and they've got another year to get. I'm not saying we've got 4 years and we can afford to get scudded and finish 4th in the league this year, but I just think that the board have bought into him. They've went through a dead strenuous process to recruit the guy. They've made him watch games for last season and say, how would you make it different? They've asked him, what does he need? And I just think that we're going to need to we're going to need to try and get behind them, because see the fans turning on them right away. It's no good for the players. It's no good for the whole ambience at the club. It's just like a mob baying for blood at the first sign of a mistake. And to me, that's where supporters become fans. And people will say to me, "Oh, you've got a cheek to talk. You've not got a season ticket. When was the last time you were at a game? Blah blah blah." But I'm still a supporter of the club.
Yeah.
But there's some people who don't want to support. There's some people who are just waiting on the next bad result to jump on Russell Martin, because they want to be able to say, "I told you so, I wanted Muscat," or "I told you so, I want..." I'm the first person to put my hands up and say I wanted Gerrard, but you never got him. This is what you've got. And as I say, the owners have spent an awful lot of money getting their feet under the table to make big boy decisions, and this is their first big boy decision, and I think that we need to give them some of that respect to allow it to play out and see where it ends up.
Totally agree, Ross, and I think, as I've said before, fans are fickle, and I think especially in Scotland, especially in this SPL, because you know yourself, you finish second, it's failure. Doesn't matter what you've done, it is failure. But Ricky, I mean, Ross is talking 100% sense here, and he's talking like that's what we should do, and that's what we should be going to Ibrox and doing. We should be doing that and looking forward to stuff. And I'm probably one of the ones that I criticise quite quickly because it's just emotion. But when you look at it logically, you shouldn't. But if it comes to end August and they're sitting 10 points behind, I'm not just saying Celtic, but just 10 points difference, the fans, the majority of fans aren't going to be happy. And I'm not saying the major majority, but probably a good maybe 25-30% are going to be the ones that shout loudest, because they'll be so unhappy sitting 10 points behind at the 31st August.
Yeah, but
And that's when things changes in But being the manager Rangers, it's totally different. Southampton, Swansea, meeting Key Dons. You know that, I know that, everybody knows that.
But what Ross has said is absolutely spot on. He's speaking complete sense.
So what are
you going to do? Right, okay, brilliant. We're 10 points behind. Let's fire Martin, and then let's bring in the next manager. And then some fans are happy and some fans are not happy. And then he gets until the next season, doesn't like the 10 players that Martin's brought in, the 15 players that Martin's brought in. He wants his own 15 players, and then we'll go 10 points behind the next season. But that's what we've been doing. That's what we've been doing for the last, since Gerrard left, for God's sake. You cannot. It's the definition of madness is doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, mate. Listen, it is though. It's so exhausting. It's boring. I love X. I've loved Twitter. The last month I've been so bored on it. I'm actually thinking about I'll not get rid of it because I'm an addict, but I like being on it and having banter with people and communicating with people. But you've got all these people that I'm so right. I told you they're like Martin out after one game and all that garbage. Oh, it's so exhausting, Kerman. You've got to give the guy the opportunity. It doesn't matter if we're 10 points behind Celtic. We were 10 points behind Celtic when Comont came in and he managed to almost claw it back. Celtic are no amazing, mate. They're going to drop points 100%. They're winning games just now. It's the start of the season. They did this last season. When they're playing European games and it's the Champions League, Rodgers is not going to be back the way that he's been in the past because they wasted an absolute fortune last season. Celtic are going to drop a lot of points this season, 100%. They'll probably have a roughly the same tally as they did last season, maybe even a bit less. So that's the tally that you should be. And Martin is saying that as well. He's like, guys, he's not even had, Asgard's not even played yet. He doesn't even have his own striker. We've just brought in a left back 2 days ago. He's done amazing to get us to the last qualifying round of the Champions League. Just give the guy a chance. Like, being toxic. Like, if Ibrox is toxic, I don't think it will be tomorrow night, but that's a game that should be like Parma. Ibrox should be like Parma all these years ago. That's the sort of positivity we should be taking to the ground, because if Ibrox is like that, then it doesn't matter who you're playing against. That Parma team was one of the best European teams in years when we absolutely blew them. The stadium was crackling, we beat them 2-0. That's what we should be aiming for against Bruise tomorrow night. You don't want, Suter passes it and then people are like, oh, for fuck's sake, fucking this shite. You want to get behind the team and see where it can take us. And it's all right saying, okay, we might be 10 points behind Celtic. I actually think there's a good chance we could beat Celtic in the Old Firm game. Celtic are coming with James Forrest and another guy on the wing, for God's sake. So we can beat Celtic. And if you beat Celtic and we beat St Mirren at the weekend and we get a positive result tomorrow night, then it gives Martin a bit more time to get more players in, gives him a bit more time to get the team used to the way that he wants to play it. Listen, nobody's sitting here saying the football's been amazing, Kerr. We're all pissed off. The start to the season, we're not happy. We've watched Panathinaikos. We played well for the second half when they went down to 10 men. Away from home, we were giving up chances. We watched this against Pilsen. We turned up, we were amazing. We won 3-0. The second leg, we looked like we've never played football before. The Dundee game was absolutely terrible. The Motherwell game, there was bits of it were all right, wasn't good enough. Fans we see that. There's no denying that, and it needs to get better. It has to get better soon. But you've got to give the guy a chance to make it better, for God's sake. Telling him he's shite and you want him out, and his mum's contacting him because fans are on his back. What's the point in that? What good is that doing Rangers as a club? Because like Ross says, we'll have to get our club back to winning trophies. There's no point in us bringing in Derek McInnes and winning one league title if it was possible, and then Celtic go on and win another 9 league titles. It's got to be, we're trying to rebuild the club with people that are supposed to be competent in the positions they've been put into. So we've got to give that time. And as the pain that we're going through just now is horrible, but hopefully it'll get better. And when it clicks, Martin is very smug and confident that it's going to click, mate. So that's what I'm hanging my hat on. And when it does, then hopefully we'll start seeing good football, good results, and we can all say, wow, we've got a good team that's worth investing in, Kerr. And hopefully that happens soon.
Nearly ranted there, Ricky. Our face is going red by the second there. Name your beach for you tomorrow. But Ross, back just before we finish tonight, just tomorrow's game. What do you think the starting 11 is going to be, Ross? Many changes will I make, and will I go with a new back forward, a new left back start?
I thought I seen somebody in the comments saying that it came out the new boy wasn't registered.
I thought Martin said he was.
I don't know. I think Martin thought he was going to. If he's registered, I think you need to play him, mate. I don't think we can play Aarons back there. I would go Butland, the new kid, Suter, Giga, Aarons. Then I would go Rothwell, Asgard, Cameron, Gassama, Ant-Man, and a wee curveball, Mikey Moore, just as a kind of floater in there, and they three all interchanging, mate. I would genuinely rather one of the attackers play up there than Danilo, mate. I think he's softer than shite. He's not offering his anything. So if Iggerman's not ready to play, then I feel as if we need to do something a bit different, mate, because Danilo's been worse than a man down up there.
I actually quite like Mikey Moore through a centre because he's played there before. I know that for Tottenham. So he's played before. So it's not like it's a new position for him. He knows how to play that role. So who would you go with, Ricky?
I would go, well, it's saying in the comments that this new guy is Maghomo is not registered. No, so if that's the case, that's a bit of a bummer. So I was going to throw in a curveball here as well. I don't want to see Tavernier right back, so I would play Tavernier left back. I would keep Aarons right back, and that's because I don't think Aarons, I think you're just killing us if you put Aarons at left back. He can't play there, and we don't have any other options. So you're looking at it's not like, okay, great. I would put Tavernier left back, Aarons right back, and I would have Suter and Jigga. I would have Raskin in the 6. I would play Asgard and Cameron. and I would leave Rothwell on the bench to come on for Raskin a bit later. And I know what you're saying about Moore, but I don't know, has he ever played centre forward? I know he's played through the middle in the 10.
He's
but
played through middle for Spurs Academy, but I know it's Academy games. But he can still played that role. It's not like it's a new role. But nowadays, Ross is right. They can interchange. You see.
they can.
Liverpool's done it a few times in the past, but obviously they've got world class players. We haven't, but it can be done.
Probably, I don't think he's. I think it's going to be Gassama, Ant-Man, and Danilo is going to start, and it's just he sees. I don't know. Sometimes he says another problem he's got. He tells you a player's played amazing, and you're like, are you watching the same match? He was hopeless, but I mean, Danilo is going to be hopeless because he is hopeless. But you're not going to see Mr. Invisible, man. He's so bad. I mean, Gentles is there, and but it's like no. I think he has played there before. It's actually
look big Gary. Can he go in the pod?
Oh no!
He only played at left back when Ferguson took a.
That's right.
Or something that time, remember?
Oh, he was hopeless. He was dreadful there. He played him there for about 5 minutes, did he know? He was there for about 5 minutes and then realised, this is not working, get him back in midfield. So we don't want to see that. But the options are limited. The options are very limited. So we will see, especially that left back is a big issue.
I think in midfield will be Raskin, Rothwell and Cameron. I don't think Asgard will start. I think he'll be on the bench just because he's not played a lot of football. But I would start him. I think it'll be the front three you mentioned, Ricky, Ant-Man and Gassama and Danilo, even though I wouldn't play Danilo up through the middle, but I think he's the only kind of one you've got at the moment. And the back four will probably be Taverns, Jigger and Suter, obviously Button and goals. So what's the score going to be, Ross? Do you think we'll win comfortably? Do you think it'll be tough? Or do you think?
Well, 100% concede, mate. 3-1.
What about yourself, Ricky?
I'll go 2-0. I think we're going to see a Poulsen type performance. Then I'm going to get swagged on Friday when we get bumped. But no, I'll go 2-0. I'm going to go 2-0. I think, and I agree. I don't think Bruise are as good as they were last season. I mean, they came to Glasgow and absolutely demolished them. I don't know how they managed to get a draw. They were surprised. They were brilliant that game. So they're a good team. They are a good, decent team. But I mean, it's to get into the Champions League, mate. So you wouldn't expect it to be any. These are the matches you've got to play if you want to play with the big boys. So I will go 2-0. What about you?
I'm saying 2-1. I think we'll concede as well. I think they're a very good side. I know they've lost a few players, two of the bigger players, but still got some quality there. So they have, and I think they will score because I think we've been conceding chances lately. I think the players they've got up top are going to finish. So I'm going hopefully 2-1 to Rangers, and hopefully can go over there and get something.
I would take any win, Karen. I would take. Sorry, before you go, I would take any win. Right, any win, I'll be happy with.
Even like Nicholas said, the 1 each, even a draw is no a bad result.
I think we need to take something. I think a draw. I don't think we'll go through if we take a draw. I think but the second leg and all that. But I think we need to take a victory over there. But we will see.
I know. Anyway, that's us for tonight. We'll be back Friday, maybe even a Thursday. I don't know. Sometimes a Thursday was last week was actually better than the Friday, I have to say. But we'll be back at some point last week. We'll let you know. But anyway, thank you, Ricky, for joining me this evening, and also to Ross. Thank you again, Ross. You come on the pod tonight and you spoke some sense, unlike myself. You come on the pod and spoke sense, so that probably will get clipped somewhere along the lines.
It'll get clipped by me, Kerr. I'll need to screen record it and send it to my mum. Now somebody said that I talk sense, man. It's normally Russell Martin that goes to his mum for advice. I'll be like, Mum, see, I told you. My mum thinks I'm very adapted and everybody else thinks I'm, you know what I mean? So
right, anyway, everybody, thank you for joining us tonight. Bye for now.